Bhagavate Shri Arunachala Ramanaya.
Hridaya Kuhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram Hyaham Ahamiti Sakshat Atmarupena Bhati Hrididisha Manasa Swam Chinvata Machatava Abanachalana Roda Atmanishto Bhavatrum Atmanishto Bhavatrum. Very famous shloka of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. In the center of the heart cave, Brahma alone shines in the form of the self with immediacy as I. Enter into the heart by diving deep, either by inquiry or by control of breath, and abide as the self.
This beautiful shloka, when you go to Ramana ashram, it's there in the new hall where Bhagavan said maybe a year before his death, you will also find Bhagavan's death experience written on one of the side walls in the same room. There is that marble sofa where Bhagavan used to sit. And now they have put a statue there. Some people meditate in this room also. But sometimes there is bhajan, kirtan, prayers in this room. If a singer comes, there can be very nice gathering in that room. As Neelakantanji was saying the shloka, it appeared as if I'm sitting in that room.
Same here.
That Bhagavan is sitting in everyone's heart. Whether we know this truth or not, He is always there. He is always there in form of our own pure self, in middle of our heart. This is the only goal of life for all human beings, to know self in the heart. Rest all things are not that important. Rest all things are because of our desires now or in past. That makes the story of a jiva. Knowing the self is not story of the jiva. This is liberation. This is end of the story. This is ultimate knowledge. This is mukti, moksha, freedom. Freedom from this trap of mind. Don't think that the job you're doing is because you have an employer or because you have no money to survive if you retire. All actions are coming from Maya. All actions initiated by ego are trap of the mind. If you look into the main four paths for liberation, Karma Yoga is also one of them. Nishkam Karam. You do karma, you do action without looking for fruits of action, and you do it without ego, without doership. If you have no doership, if you have no ego, then you are already free. Then all your actions will be Nishkam Karam only. All your actions will be Karma Yoga only. Or they say that surrender all your work to God. Whatever work you do with devotion, offer all your actions to God. If you have so much of devotion, if you have surrendered all your actions to God, then you merge in that God. All this path of Karma Yoga is true. But if you are doing this way, then you are already free. And so Bhagavan never gave importance to Karma Yoga. He clearly said all actions leads to bondage. Action leads to more actions, to leads to fruits of action leading to more action. It's a vicious circle. Self propagates itself. If you want to go to start of the action in first birth, it must be some desire after getting a body. These are chain of desires. Bhagavan made it very clear. Action will lead to bondage. Egoless action, you're already established. If you follow Karma Yoga, it says egoless action. So first become egoless. Then again you come to Bhagavan's path to get rid of ego first. before we do any action, we should change the mode of action, source of action. All actions done through ego will be selfish, even if it has good intention. Selfish in a way that it will keep the ego, though it might be helpful to society. That is ego's last trump card, that I am helping society, I am helping others. Saying this, it makes everyone agreeable with it, and so it survives. Make your sincere attempt to finish this ego. And then do Karam Yoga. Find pure self in your heart. This direct path to find self might not be suitable for everyone. Some people might have to go through a lot of actions to cleanse their mind. If you see Bhagavan used Karam Yoga, or maybe action first, to purify mind gradually, as in case of Annamalai Swami. For 10 years he kept giving him task after task after task. So much so that when Annamalai Swami used to enter into the old hall to discuss anything, Bhagavan used to talk only about building works. And other devotees used to comment, Bhagavan, why don't you talk about meditation, self-inquiry? Bhagavan used to say when he enters, he brings thoughts only of construction. He's full of those thoughts only. And if you look into Annamalai Swami's biography, he used to say that even when he was doing all the construction work, he used to get thoughts about female construction workers. At one stage, he got rid of all the female construction workers so he doesn't get any sexual thoughts about them. Try to understand from where he started and where he ended, and why so much of action, Karma Yoga, was so important in his life. So everyone can decide To purify mind is very important. Direct path doesn't take even a fraction of a second. But yes, preparation to know the self takes years sometimes. Purifying mind by action, by doing good work. Purifying mind by doing constant japa, mantra japa or whatever japa you choose, nam japa. Purifying mind by pranayam. Purifying mind by reading, contemplating on that reading. All these can be preparatory steps before you jump to this question, who am I? The reason is, even if you go into inquiry without cleaning your mind, that filthy mind will again empower you. It's better to clear some baggage from mind, make it lighter, make it sattvic. So comes role of everything. Your diet, your work, your interaction with people. You're getting up early in the morning. Everything counts, small things count. Mind is like a wild horse. You have to discipline it. Some people think they have found a path, self-inquiry, and they will say, who am I? And I will vanish and self will reveal. Yes, it can happen if your mind is so pure. You have innocence like a child. You're not trapped into anything in this world. You led us very simple, pure life. You had some sadhana in the past lives. Then knowing the truth can make you free immediately. Constantly remember self in your heart. Constantly. Once our mind has tasted bliss of the self, it will never ever move away from it. Because all taste in the external world are tasteless, are insipid in form in front of this divine taste. When floodgates of this pure love opens up, it finishes everything which is fake, which is only creation of mind, ego. Constant nagging thoughts coming from mind is sheer madness, which whole humanity suffers. No one is free from it except the one in whom there is grace of self. Abide in your pure self. Surrender your desires, your plans, everything to that pure self. Let him take all the burden from you. And you do japa of self only. You keep taking the name of God and let God take care of you. You do your work and let Him do His work. Use your mind to take His name all the time. And use this body if someone needs any help from you. Someone can ask, what for me? Let that Lord do everything for you. But you have to give up this thought, what for me? If you are still controlling, caring about yourself, then He cannot help you. When our actions are impartial, when our actions are only when any need arises externally for anyone, and when our mind is completely absorbed in self, then only we are free. Then mind stop guiding you. That you to which mind was guiding disappears. Mind only guides to ego. Ego gone, mind merges in pure self. Don't be impatient. Understand the truth. It blossoms when there is fertile ground, when the atmosphere is conducive for self to unfold. You just have to make preparations for it, that's all. You just prepare ground for it to unfold. The best ground for it to unfold is when there is no I, there is no mine, there is no you. The best ground is when you stop thinking about yourself, your plans, your agenda. Some people say, look, I only think about my kids. My is still there, or my partner. Ego never allows us to go beyond me, mine. People do something for their kids. Maybe a child is suffering from a disease and you're helping. And everyone says, oh, you have done so well, you're helping your child or your father or your wife or whatever. But even birds do that, animals do that. What is big deal in it? It is all play of attachment and ego. I'm not saying you should not do all that, but see where all this energy is coming from. If you can put the same energy to help a stranger, and if in your mind he is not a stranger, then you are free from ego. Don't think that you contemplate on self and self will blossom in your heart and you will be having peace and you can still do all selfish acts. It never works. It has never manifested. You have to fulfill all the criterias first. Then it manifests. Self name is bit misleading. In reality, it is impartial self. Because we also use the term selfishness. It also looks like it is coming from self. It is not a personal self. Better word is Brahman. Awareness. Sat Chitanand. Truth. Consciousness. Bliss. It is not personal. No one can own it. No one can say, I got it. The moment you say, I got it, it slips away. It is impersonal. It is only a presence. Isness. You touch this isness and you are at perfect ease, perfect peace. It is raw, eternal. It has no differentiation. It cannot differentiate even living, non-living. It is everywhere. It is everywhere in everything. Nothing is without it. In some things it manifests more, in some less. It is in every human being, but in some it manifests more, and we call that body form as a sage, awakened, enlightened. In others, it is concealed. All efforts are to unfold, uncover, let it blossom in you. Don't die without knowing it. Don't keep it covered under the layers of ignorance. Don't leave this task for the end, because end can come anytime. Not everyone lives till age of 100. And people die young. Don't postpone this unfoldment. If you have come to this knowledge now, just finish it now. If you want to finish your unfulfilled desires and then come to it, then it will never happen. One life is less for desires to be fulfilled. Don't think maturity comes with age. Probably if you're not looking within, you get more trapped. I see old people all the time. They have more attachments like a child. First they were attached to their kids, now grandkids, now great grandkids. Ego gets bigger and bigger unless you check it. Check by your sadhana, by your efforts, by your longing, by your devotional love. Follow some discipline. Going back to heart is like flowing against the current of your mind. Building this inward current, getting antarmukhi, looking within. keeping your energy here, your attention here, not in external world, not in actions, not in attachments, just here. Stop arguing with people. Don't waste your energy in mundane things. Get intoxicated by this pure silence of yourself. This internal bath is so important. Bath of this pure silence purifies everything. It removes all the stains of desires and attachments. It dissolves all impurities. It burns away whatever you are not, brings you back to the original, undifferentiated, back to source. It's like a reset button. You know, if you have a phone, you press factory default, reset. It regains its all memory, nothing which you added is there anymore. This is like a new birth, but birth without death. Before this birth, there is one death, death of ego. That death is without birth, which leads to this birth without death. Who can understand this? Some people are passionate about a job, a work, a hobby. Till the age of 99, they keep doing that. They get medals, honors. They have established institute. Learn from their madness. Be mad for the self. Think of it, dream of it, love it. Just be in that field. Madness of Mirabai. Be like Mirabai, like Surdas, Tulsidas, innumerable number of people. Not everyone is as lucky as Bhagavan. Never did any efforts before death experience and it just happened. But Bhagavan used to say it all came after efforts. It is never spontaneous. He has put efforts in past. In this birth, it looks like he didn't do anything. I have spoken to so many of you, and I know intense longing. Keep that longing. That is only required. When you're honestly trying to know the self, self has no choice but to reveal itself. When we are stuck up in desires, then self knows. Let him be busy with desires now. Moment we have desires, we are looking outwardly only. In those desires, we have no interest in self. Self knows more than you. We can deceive whole world, but we cannot deceive self. You can't play all those smart tricks with self, what you can play in this world. Here all tricks fail. Only love and devotion works. And that too, pure devotion, true love, ananya bhakti, constant remembrance, constant cry for it. That only works. Om Shanti, Shanti.